This is it. Marvel has admitted it. They have come out to admit that the MCU, the woke injection of these new Marvel characters that everyone's supposed to care about, unless they're, otherwise they're a huge bigot, has failed. And there has been a expose written, I believe at Variety or Vanity Fair, which we're going to take a look at, that outlines the absolute catastrophe that Marvel Studios has become, the disaster behind the Marvels, and much more. On top of that, they have now launched what many are called their final desperation move by realizing, accepting that this woke crap, these, stunningly diverse and super interesting character, thing that they're trying to do, isn't working. So now this is like so embarrassing for them. I mean, this is absolutely so embarrassing for them. Sources say that there have been talks now to bring back the original gang for an Avengers movie. This means reviving Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, both of whom died in Endgame. My friends, desperation is a stinky cologne, and I could not imagine something stinking more than this. And we're going to get into that after I just remind you. You probably heard, I'm just reminding everyone once today, and that's going to be it. I'm giving back to my viewers $10,000 plus, it's actually more than that, in prizes, Xbox Series X, 60 different $70 gift cards from Nintendo eShop to Amazon to Steam, a gaming computer, a gaming monitor, a Steam Deck, $500 Lego sets like Rivendell. It's open to everyone. Okay, internationally, I'll figure it out. All you have to do is open a new tab, or after this video, check out Rumble. If you're already following me, then you're good. Follow me on Rumble and tune in to my daily show, which is 12 to 2 o'clock Central Time for the next 3 weeks, starting Monday. I'll be giving away. There'll be 8 winners every single day. You don't even have to watch every single day. You just have every days that you tune in, you'll be eligible to win. And I've got some insanely awesome prizes, because I would be nothing without you, my viewers. Now, if you look at a lot of these replies, you see that didn't take long. I mean, I heard, my sources are telling me, by the way, that that the post-credit scene in the Marvels is about like leaning into Ironheart. The Riri Williams, the replacement. She's young, she's black, she's hip, she's cool, Noah's Arcade. That's who's supposed to be replacing Robert Downey Jr. That didn't take long. That would require RDJ to cheeseburger again. Nothing more comic booky. They're bringing comic book characters back from the dead. The thing is, people would actually see this movie. Maybe. Maybe. A lot of the people, maybe we could just, move on from superhero movies. After what they did to her, where did they bring them back to her? Please don't. I mean, poor Marvel trying to bring back the good old days. No, they're just trying to milk it for more money. I mean, everybody's just like, please no more Marvel Universe movies. My God. Again, they can bring back anyone with the multiverse gimmick or the time travel gimmick, which I hate. I hated the Pym particle thing because it erased all the stakes of the previous movie. But no, it ended when Tony Stark died. That's it. You guys lost it after that. No more nostalgia bait. It's over. I thought everyone loved the new diversity, equity, and inclusive heroes. This is, I mean, truly throwing in the towel. And then there's this huge write-up today. Crisis at Marvel. Jonathan Majors' backup plans. The Marvels reshoots. Reviving original Avengers, and more issues revealed. This past September, a group of Marvel creatives, including studio chief Kevin Feige, assembled in Palm Springs for the studio's annual retreat. Most years, the vibe would have been confident, even cocky, given how the premier superhero brand owned by Disney since 2009 had remade the entertainment business image. This occasion, it was angst-ridden. Everyone at Marvel was reeling from a series of disappointments on screen, a legal scandal involving one of its biggest stars, and questions about the viability of the studio's ambitious strategy to extend the brand beyond movies into streaming, which, by the way, has been a massive financial failure. The most pressing issue to be discussed at the retreat was what to do about Jonathan Majors, the actor who had been poised to carry the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but instead headed to a high-profile trial in New York later this month on putting his hands on his wife. The actor insists that he didn't do it, but the damage to his reputation and the chance he could lose the case has forced Marvel to reconsider plans into the future. At the gathering in Palm Springs, executives discussed backup plans, including pivoting to another comic book adversary like Doctor Doom, but making any shift would carry its own headaches. Majors is already a big presence in the MCU, including as the scene-stealing antagonist in February's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and has been positioned as a franchise's next big thing in this season of Loki, particularly in the finale. It's as undoes all of this. Quote, Marvel is truly effed with the whole Kang angle, one top deal maker who has seen the final Loki episode, and they haven't had an opportunity to rewrite until very recently because of the strike. I don't see a path to how they move forward with him. Beyond the bad press for Majors, the brain trust at Marvel is also grappling with the November release of The Marvels, a sequel to the 2019 blockbuster Captain Marvel that has been plagued with lengthy reshoots, now appears likely to underwhelm at the box office. This is all unprecedented turn of fortune for a company that has enjoyed a nearly uninterrupted string of hits ever since it started independently producing movies in 2008, Iron Man. That wildly profitable run culminated in a $2.8 billion success of Avengers Endgame, a high watermark for the studio that has earned nearly $30 billion over 32 films. Replicating that kind of phenomenon is never easy. However, the source of Marvel's current problems can be traced back to 2020 when the lockdowns happened, and it ushered in a mandate to help boost Disney's stock price with endless torrent of interconnected Marvel content for the studio's fledgling platform Disney Plus, which most people didn't like. According to the plan, there would never be a lapse in superhero fare, with either a film in theaters or new television series streaming at any given moment. But the ensuing tsunami of spandex proved to be too much of a good thing, and the demands of churning out so much programming taxed the Marvel apparatus. Moreover, the need to tease out an interwoven storyline over so many disparate shows, movies, and platforms created a muddled narrative for baffled viewers. The Marvel machine was pumping out a lot of content. Did it get to the point where it was too much and they were just burning people out on superheroes? It's possible, says Wall Street analyst Eric Handler. It's definitely true. The more you do, the tougher it is to maintain the quality. They tried experimenting, breaking in some new characters like Shang-Chi and the Eternals with mixed results. Actually, both were disasters. With budgets as big as these, you need home runs. The Marvels, which opens in theaters on November 10th, will struggle to get the ball past the infield, at least by Marvel's outsized standards. The movie, which cost $250 million and sees Brie Larson reprising a role as Captain Marvel, is tracking to open $75 to $80 million. I saw a number today that said $35 to $45 million. That's far below the $185 million Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness took in domestically in its debut weekend last year. Directed by Nia DaCosta, The Marvel unites, all these characters, nobody cares. Then eyebrows raised again when Nia DaCosta began working on another film while The Marvels was still in post-production. The filmmaker moved to London early this year and began prepping for her Tessa Thompson drama, Hedda. A representative for DaCosta declined to comment. Quote, if you're directing a $250 million movie, it's kind of weird for the director to leave with a few months to go, says a source familiar with the production. My guess is they just trying to wipe their hands with it. This is Marvel outwardly saying the woke crap didn't work. Forgive a please. We'll give you Robert Downey Jr. again, and it's just too late. The Marvels has seen its release date move back twice, too. Once to swap places with Quantumania, which was deemed further along, and again when its debut shifted from July to November to give the filmmakers more time to tinker, because it sucked. But the extra time did not necessarily help. In June, Marvel, which traditionally only solicits feedback from Disney employees and their friends and families, took the uncharacteristic step of holding a public test screening in Texas. The audience gave the film middling reviews. But Marvel has never been in the business of being average. Kevin's real superpower, his genius, has always been in post-production and getting his hands on the movies and making sure they finish strongly. These days, he's spread too thin. This is exactly what Disney did to Star Wars. They pumped it out and pumped it out, pumped it out, pumped it out, pumped it out. And people got sick of it. It wasn't an event anymore. A new Star Wars movie was just a thing. You could watch Star Wars content anytime. so it lost its magic almost immediately. Feige isn't the only person showing signs of strain. Marvel's entire video effects battalion, including staffers and vendors, are struggling to keep pace with the never-ending stream of productions. This past February, when the credits rolled in the world's premiere of Quantumania, shock rippled through the Regency Village Theater in Westwood over some overly shoddy CGI. There were at least 10 scenes where the visual effects had been added at the last minute and were out of focus. One veteran power broker who was there said, "It was insane. I've never seen something like that in my entire life." Everyone was talking about it. Even the kids of executives were talking about it. The schedule swap with the Marvels had left Ant-Man's sequel in a squeeze, pushing to get everything out. This level of unfinished was unprecedented and would be noted in scathing reviews when a tentpole with $200 million budget opened 11 days after the premiere. Critics weren't the only ones dismayed. Fed up with 14-hour days with no overtime, Marvel's video effects workers voted unanimously to unionize in September, sparking an industry-wide trend. I mean, this is nuts. Internal sources suggest Alonso was a scapegoat and point to the She-Hulk video effects issues as a symptom of deeper rot, namely a lack of oversight on script development in the original arc of She-Hulk. A flashback of star Tatiana Maslany's transformation to her Hulk character didn't take place until episode 8. But after Marvel's brain trust watched the footage, it realized the scene needed to happen in the pilot episode so the audiences could see more of the character's backstory early. That meant the video effects team was tasked with fixing the mess in post-production. The so-called video effects we see because of half-baked scripts, says one person involved with She-Hulk. That's not Victoria, that's Kevin. And that's everyone above Kevin. Those issues should be addressed in pre-production. The timeline is not allowing Marvel executives to sit with the material. All while Marvel was bleeding money, with a single episode of She-Hulk costing some $25 million for a single episode, dwarfing the budget of a final season of HBO's Game of Thrones. But without similar zeitgeist bang, August 2022 series premiere of El Capitan Theater foreshadowed what was to come 6 months later at Quantumania. She-Hulk special effects were out of focus in multiple scenes. As public criticism mounts, Feige is pulling the plug on scripts and projects that aren't working. Case in point, the Blade reboot, done. Things looking promising for 2023 late, but the project has gone through at least 5 writers, 2 directors. I mean, reports that, that's cooked. The Oscar-nominated writer of Logan wants to start new. I mean, it's been an absolute disaster. Writing the Marvel obituary they finish would be ill-advised, says Jason Squire, professor emeritus at USC School of Cinematic Arts. The Movie Business Podcast, Kevin Feige is the Babe Ruth of movie executives, and Marvel has the most profitable track record in movie history. Well, I don't think they're going to crumble. I think they're going to go back to what works. I think they're going to have to release them less often, and I think they're going to have to spend less money on them because that's just the way things are nowadays. But what we do know is that the woke trash didn't work, and you just hate to see it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. Remember to get at everybody who watches my show over there, even if you can watch it live or, the next couple hours afterwards, you can tune in, get the link and enter. Up to 8 people a day will win. Totally free, worldwide. I want you to check out my live stream. I want you to check out my show. And I also want to thank you and give back. So hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.